This coffee is a rare Caturra mutation called Caturra chiroso. It's a variety that can thrive through cold environments and under low light intensity. This coffee is coming from Finca El Paraíso at 1,960 meters above sea level in Colombia, produced by the renowned Diego Bermudez and expertly roasted by Manhattan Coffee Roasters in the Netherlands. I'm going to be as concise as I can be to walk you through this coffee's complex processing as I brew. Of course, this coffee was picked at peak ripeness and rinsed with ozonated water. Essentially, a sterilizing wash, removing any bacteria from the surface of the cherries. These coffees are then brought to stainless steel tanks, pumped with CO2 to displace oxygen, so as to prevent oxidation to the compounds in the pulp. This will ferment for 48 hours at 18 degrees Celsius and pressurized to 20 psi. The fluids generated from this first fermentation are then gathered into a mixer to be inoculated with specific yeast strains and lactic acid bacteria. This is then reintroduced to the coffees to ferment for another 48 hours at the same temperature, but with a gradual increase back up to pressure of 20 psi. At the end of the second stage of fermentation, temperature is raised to 40 degrees Celsius and held for 30 minutes before then being emptied into a cold water bath of 12 degrees Celsius ozonated water. This was to open the pores of the coffee cells and then to shock and lock in the unique compounds and acids created during fermentation. This is described as a double fermentation thermal shock process. Coffees are then pulped and machine dried at low temperatures with controlled dehumidifying systems to further preserve the unique flavors created during fermentation. And this also extends the life of the green seed. The result of all this work is what I'm excited to share with you today. And through my brewing, I'd like to give you the clearest expression of this coffee. To do so, I'm using the Kalita Wave brewer. Its flat bottom design lends a controlled flow rate to the brew, allowing me to easily replicate cup after cup. I'm brewing with 25 grams of coffee at a 1:16 ratio, separating my pours into 4 pulses of 100 grams, with a total water weight of 400 grams introduced to the brew. I'm also using third wave water to keep my brews consistent from location to location, and I've sifted the grounds of this coffee, removing chaff or boulders to prevent hollow or stale flavors, and removing microfines to increase cup clarity. I want to keep this brew controlled and repeatable, parallel to Diego Bermudez and his processing. Right. In the aroma, you'll experience cocoa powder and fennel. This coffee, when hot, will taste like dark fudge, licorice, have a malic acidity, tartaric acidity like black currant and star anise. When this coffee grows warm, star anise will remain in the flavor, aroma, and aftertaste. There will be a citric-like acidity, a sparkling sensation like lemon verbena. There will be a sweetness like fudge brownies. This coffee, when cool, dark fudge will turn to malt chocolate. There will be a malic acidity like red apple. And star anise will remain. This coffee's creamy, rich body will coat your mouth with a medium weight. And as it cools, it will thicken to medium plus. Thank you. There you are. Enjoy. Thank you. Enjoy. Enjoy. Thank you. This coffee is luscious. It's got elements in its complexity that remind me of craft chocolate and a natural wine. Cupping this coffee, I was taken back to the time I first had a naturally processed coffee. And just like back then, with eyes wide open, I was like, wow, that's coffee? Time and time again, my paradigm of specialty coffee continues to shift and be reshaped by the unique flavors I get to experience because of coffees like this and because of producers and the incredible work like Diego Bermudez. It seems like just yesterday, my idea of coffee processing was just natural or washed. And as I learn more and more about coffee processing, I get excited for what's to come. As specialty coffee continues to adopt practices from other industries like introducing different yeast strains or fermentation methods, the possibilities are seemingly endless and beautiful. So judges, I hope that this beverage stimulates a sense of wonder in you that rekindles your passion for coffee, just like it did for me, just like the taste of your first natural. Thank you for having me. Time.